Wait, 2019. Something happens in 2019. What was it? Oh, yes! Blade Runner! The future of fashion is now, bitches! Well, it's time for my yearly copyright strike roundup. Too soon to call a top 10, but didn't see enough bad movies to call a bottom 10. It's the top 10 most pointless movies I didn't even bother seeing this year. It bears repeating, not necessarily the worst movies of the year. I can't say that. I haven't seen any of these. Just the dumb, soulless cash grabs with the least potential to be good. And again, popularity plays a part. Did you guys even know there was an Escape Plan 2 without Schwarzenegger? The whole point of Escape Plan is that it was Stallone-Schwarzenegger team up. Ugh, start the list.
This is...
What?
This is boring. Delete.
Superfly. I know I said popularity plays a part, but I saw so many trailers for this film and there was still somehow no hype for this remake of a 70s classic. This film was so bland you probably have seen a trailer for it and you managed to forget it. Superfly exists in a weird mid-ground where it's well known enough that people will realize it's a remake, but not popular enough for anyone to actually care. And you know what? Suspiria exists in that mid-ground too, and it's still got a decent remake. Of course, that was from the director of Call Me By Your Name, and this is from Director X. Yeah, if you need any proof this film sucks, there you go.
Dude, that movie sucked. How do they even call that a movie? That's bullcrap, dude. Let's go get our money back.
Jurassic World 2. Jurassic World? Again? The general consensus on the first was that it was totally mediocre and uninteresting. I claimed there was some self-aware meta-humor, but that was just a theory. The hype for this movie is dead, thanks. We don't need more. If I want a subpar Jurassic Park sequel, we already have 2 to choose from. God, I'm bored even talking about this movie. Let's move on.
That was pointless.
Goosebumps 2. Seriously? Look, 90s nostalgia is profitable. A Goosebumps movie was inevitable. But 1 was enough, thanks. They couldn't even get Jack Black back for this one. He's busy with the Harry Potter ripoff Eli Roth is directing. How did that not make the list? I did think it was a clever move to base the movie on all of the books rather than just one. A clever business move, I mean, because there's nothing clever about these movies. Also, this is somehow a Sony animation film? Well, at least they avoided getting the top spot 3 years in a row. They also made Hotel Transylvania 3 this year, which by the 3rd movie you gotta be stretching. But hey, Hotel Transylvania 1 and 2 are way better than they have any right to be, so I'll give this one a pass. Sony, you hold on to Jindy Tartarovsky, he's the only thing making you guys seem legit. As for Goosebumps 2, no, fuck off with this bullshit. But it played under the radar just enough that Sony avoids a 3-year streak.
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
Napoleon, like anyone can even know that.
Tomb Raider. You know what always sucks without fail? Video game movies. But you gotta be on some crazy bullshit to try making a movie based on a game that already has arguably one of the best movie adaptations. And it's not even that old. At least Rampage looks funny and how stupid it is. And most people probably didn't even realize Rampage is a video game. Everyone knows Tomb Raider is a video game. This is a cheap ploy to make a quick buck off of yet more 90s nostalgia. I saw a promotion somewhere claiming Lara Croft was the hero women deserve? No. Women deserve much, much better than this shitty rehash of gender-swapped Indiana Jones. At least go for the marginally more original rehash.
Very good, Lewis. Short but pointless.
2 years ago, I gave Lady Ghostbusters a pass for a few reasons. Sure, casting women was probably just a stunt to get more women in the door, but it was a popular franchise from the 80s that was probably overdue for a reboot. I can't really say the same for Ocean's 8. Yeah, speaking of faking empowerment to repackage a film from 2001 that was already not an original, although at least Ocean's 11 was a good movie. Regardless, this is obviously a gimmick to sell people the same shit again. Ocean's 11 isn't even 18. Can we at least wait till movies are legal age to reboot them? And unlike Ghostbusters, I have a hard time believing this film would have ever been made if the cast was all men. You know, if you wanted an all-female heist movie, you could just write an all-female heist movie? But nah, we'll make another Oceans movie because makes it easy. Meanwhile, shelve my Ronda Rousey Roadhouse reboot indefinitely. I was looking forward to that too! You guys better not cancel my John Cena Duke Nukem movie.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
Unfriended 2, The Dark Web. You know what movie we did not need sequels to? That glorified creepypasta about a Facebook ghost. And this time we're going to the dark web, something I'm confident Hollywood understands and will depict with complete accuracy. Trust me, we are in a renaissance of horror. Just this year we got the very excellent Hereditary. But even when this genre was at its best, crap still got released. And this is that. A shitty cash-in movie because it's cheap to make and will probably make a shit ton at the box office. Let me check. Yep, looks like it did.
Well, that was pointless.
Slenderman. The problem with making movies based on fads is that by the time the movie comes out, the fad is usually dead. But Slenderman didn't just miss the fad. This had to have been greenlit after the fad was dead. Unless this has just been sitting on a shelf since 2013, which honestly wouldn't surprise me. Don't get me wrong, this still would have been a terrible idea then. But at least it'd be a terrible idea with an audience. Now it's a terrible idea no one cares about.
Nobody wants to see this piece of shit!
God's Not Dead 3, Revenge of the Christ. I'm pretty sure that was the subtitle. Yeah, I mentioned these PureFlix films in my Kirk Cameron Christmas Quickie. And while I've neglected PureFlix on these lists, I'm calling this one out for being a lame sequel to their most profitable movie. The God's Not Dead movies don't even have a through-line narrative, it's more of an anthology series. You could call this film Why Evil Secular Bad Guys Are Gonna Destroy Christianity, and it'd be no different. But nah, slap that flashy money magnet God's Not Dead on there and rake in the profits.
Profit. Because it's a religious movie.
Here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. No, 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 no. There is already a perfect Grinch movie, and it's 30 minutes. Because, you know, it's based on a story for children. Why would you want an hour-and-a-half version of something I could read in 10 minutes? You know, Dr. Seuss didn't even want full-length movies made of his books. But even if I did want a feature-length Grinch movie, there's already an hour-and-a-half version of this not made by the company who made The Lorax. This may be controversial, but I've said it before. The Lorax is the worst Dr. Seuss movie. It's bland, unoriginal, uninteresting, unfunny, lazy, borderline insulting, and its attempts at being inoffensive only result in undercutting the message of the book. I would watch the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat movie 100 times before I rewatched The Lorax. Yeah, it's not a good movie, but guess what? It tried something. It had edge. It took the ideas of chaos presented in the book and ran headlong into one of the weirdest scripts you could have made out of The Cat in the Hat. They tried and it blew up in their face. But watching effort blow up in someone's face will always be more interesting than watching someone not try. As the great Swedish poets Aha once said, "It's no better to be safe than sorry." Illumination are bland and uninteresting filmmakers, and they overmarket the shit out of their movies. I got trailers for this children's Christmas film before an R-rated Deadpool movie in May. Get out of my life, Illumination.
Woof, I went off on that one. Let's move on to some dishonorable mentions. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them 2. It's over, guys. You milked every cent out of Harry Potter, and you are quickly losing the good faith of the people who actually enjoyed those films. Mamma Mia 2. Am I wrong? I recognize I'm not the target audience for this, but from where I'm sitting, it feels like there is just no call for a second Mamma Mia. I mean, how many popular ABBA songs are there, really? Sicario 2. Awesome! A Sicario sequel. I loved the first movie. Oh, what's that? You didn't bring back Denis Villeneuve, one of the most talented directors of this decade and the person who made that movie as good as it is? Pass. 50 Shades Free. This one avoided the list because it's the conclusion to a trilogy. Not a good trilogy, or a trilogy anyone cares about anymore, but I guess it makes sense to finish off the trilogy. Mary Poppins Returns. Don't worry, I forgot this movie happened too. 54 years between a movie and its sequel. That's gotta be a record. Why even touch the original Mary Poppins? It's practically perfect in every way. Whichever Robin Hood movie came out this year, there's like 4 in development, no one cares about any of them. This came and went, you never knew it happened. The Nut Job 2. Technically this came out last year, but I'm still feeling vindictive at the company for giving me a full-on copyright strike for 40 seconds of the trailer in my video. Fuck you guys. And now, the #1 most pointless movie of 2018 I did not even bother watching.
Sherlock Gnomes. Man, Disney, you got off with no dumb live-action remakes this year, and you fucked it up with this. A sequel to a film that only existed for a pun. And it's 8 years old. Your target audience wasn't alive when the first film came out. And it's always a good sign when you're so confident in the original, you cut its name from the title. So to recap, bad movie no one remembers gets sequel that barely capitalizes on the fact that it's a sequel. And what did they try to capitalize on? Trying to be hip with the kids. Listen, Hollywood, you need to Netflix and chill with these awful kids movies. You'll never get that victory royale this way. Just yeet these awful scripts right into the trash, fam. That's some hashtag hot tea for you right there. Clapping emoji, sassy emoji, send tweet.
These lists are never exhaustive. I didn't even mention Halloween 9 because I went to see it. So tell me what you think. What are your most pointless movies of the year? Did you see any of the films on this list? Are they as bad as they seem? Let me know, and I'll see you next year, where more than likely this will top the list. So, why are you dressed as Pris? You know, because Blade Runner takes place in 2019. But why not, like, Deckard, or any of the other male characters from that movie? Because I like Pris's makeup better. But if you're gonna dress as a woman, you could have at least shaved your beard. Fuck you.